first term, and now we're making it even stronger. We have a budget of over $1 trillion this year, and next year we're going to $1.5 trillion. Our country's never done better economically. We're taking in numbers that we've never taken in, not only the fact that the investment is at 18 trillion plus, but our jobs numbers, everything is, I think, maybe better than ever before. I think you're going to see and a lot of you are investing in our country. I think you're going to be extremely happy with your investments. I think you'll see numbers like you haven't seen before. I also secured commitments from virtually all NATO allies to increase their defense spending to 5% of GDP. Everybody but Spain. I don't know what's happening with Spain. Why would they not do that? They want a free ride, I guess, huh? Every country but Spain increased to 5%. I don't know why. We're going to have to talk to Spain. With America's renewed attention to security of the Western Hemisphere, I've stopped the invasion on our southern border and designated the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And you probably saw that we've virtually stopped almost 100% all drugs coming in by water. And now we're going to stop them on land. The land is easy. The water is tough. But that's down now. I heard it just last night. It was 97. Now it's 98.1%. And we're trying to figure out who are the 2% that are willing to get into those boats. I don't think they watch television or the news. But we've taken out almost 100% of all of the drugs coming into the United States by water. And now we'll, I think, very easily stop them on land. That's the easy part. We wanted to wait till the other was taken care of. And earlier this month, thanks to the unrivaled skill, power, and might of the U.S. military, we have the most powerful military in the world by far. We captured the outlaw dictator, Nicolas Maduro, and the people of Venezuela are very happy about it. And we're having great relationships with the new leaders of Venezuela. The relationships have been good. We're opening up the country to our giant oil companies, and it's going very well. We've already taken out, think of this, 50 million barrels of oil, and a lot of that's going to go back to Venezuela. They'll do more income with us in a short period of time than they did in years, because as much oil as they have, and they have a lot, just about the most. After us, there's a couple of countries that are in that category, but we have the most, actually, and they're second between Venezuela and us. We have 62% of the world's oil, but they have very little production, so they'll have a lot of production. All the oil companies, we had meetings, you probably saw, all the oil companies want to go in. They want to go in immediately. They're already touring the sites. But our military was amazing. That strike was amazing. We had a second wave coming. We didn't need it. They said, no second wave. We don't want a second wave. The first wave was enough. And, of course, we're working to end the horrible killing in Ukraine, a war that should never have happened and would have never happened if I were president. That was not going to happen. I used to speak to Vladimir Putin about Ukraine, and it was the apple of his eye, but he would never have ever done it. You can't do that, Vladimir. As part of this historic record of major peace initiatives, today we're announcing more details regarding the Board of Peace, so important. This board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created, and it's my enormous honor to serve as its chairman. I was very honored when they asked me to do it. We had an idea to do it, and then they came, they said, you be the chairman. And but I take it very seriously. We have a great group of people and incredible young people that are leading it from within. It's running beautifully, started already. And every country, just about every country, wants to be a part of it. And we just sent out the letters a couple of days ago, and these are just the countries that are here. They happen to be in Davos. So we said, would be honored if you wanted to join us up on the stage. And it's really great. They're friends of mine. I think, let me see. Yeah, every one of them is a friend of mine. A couple, let's see, a couple I like, a couple I don't like. No, actually, this group, I like every single one of them. Can you believe it? Usually I have about 2 or 3 that I can't stand. Usually I have 2 or 3 that I don't like. I don't find them up here. I like every one of these people. No, they're great people. They're great leaders. And the Board of Peace is composed of leaders, the top leaders in the world, actually. Last October, we released a plan for the permanent end to the conflict in Gaza, and I'm pleased to say that our vision was unanimously adopted by the United Nations Security Council late last year. Under phase 1 of this plan, we have painstakingly maintained that Gaza, and we're going to have it very strongly, and that's what we have, maintained the Gaza ceasefire, delivered record levels of humanitarian aid. We've given aid. You used to hear all the people were starving and it was terrible. Now you don't hear that anymore. We've delivered record levels of humanitarian aid. I want to thank the United States, but I want to thank some of the countries that are sitting right up here, because they've sent great aid, aid also in the form of money, where we go out and purchase food, and you don't hear those stories anymore with people starving. And secured the release of all 20, we secured the release of all 20 living hostages. Now, I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared and everybody for working so hard. They worked so hard, but there were 20 remaining living hostages. Now, we got hundreds out, but the last 20, I said, boy, that's going to be a tough one. And I said that a year before, and it was a tough one, but we got them. Got all 20, every one of them. And we had also about 28 that were dead, but the parents wanted them just as though they were living, just as much. Some cases, it almost seemed more. It was amazing, actually, the love. But their boy had been killed in just about all cases, young men. Their boy had been killed, and they wanted the body of the boy, and it looked like it couldn't be done. And with the exception of one, and we're close on the track of that, we've got them all, every single one of them, which is amazing. It's a rough job. That was a rough job. And I've been very clear that Hamas must return that last remaining deceased hostage as well, and that will be the full commitment. And then we get on to other things, and we're committed to ensuring Gaza is demilitarized, properly governed, and beautifully rebuilt. It's going to be a great plan, and that's where the Board of Peace really started. And I think we can spread out to other things as we succeed with Gaza. We're going to be very successful in Gaza. It's going to be a great thing to watch, and we can do other things. We can do numerous other things. Once this board is completely formed, we can do pretty much whatever we want to do, and we'll do it in conjunction with the United Nations. I've always said the United Nations has got tremendous potential, has not used it, but there's tremendous potential in the United Nations, and you have some great people at the United Nations, but so far it hasn't. On the 8 wars that I ended, I never spoke to the United Nations about any of them. And you would think that I should have. You would think they could have done those 8 wars, but they couldn't have. And they tried, I guess, in some of them, but they didn't try hard enough. But there's tremendous potential with the United Nations. And I think the combination of the Board of Peace with the kind of people we have here, coupled with the United Nations, can be something very, very unique for the world. It's for the world. This isn't United States. This is for the world. As everyone can see today, the first steps toward a brighter day for the Middle East and a much safer future for the world are unfolding right before your very eyes. Together, we are in a position to have an incredible chance. I don't even call it a chance. I think it's going to happen. To end decades of suffering, stop generations of hatred and bloodshed, and forge a beautiful, everlasting, and glorious peace for that region and for the whole region of the world, because I'm calling the world a region. The world is a region. We're going to have peace in the world. And boy, would that be a great legacy for all of us. Everybody in this room is a star, or you wouldn't be here. There's a reason that you're here, and you're all stars. You're the biggest people, the most important people in the world, most powerful people in the world. And when you use that genius that you have, that very unusual, very inspired genius, when you use that for peace, the opposite of peace has no chance. So I just want to say it's tremendous to be with you, and I think this is something that we're doing that's very important. This is the most important. I was so looking forward to being here, and yesterday was a tremendous success. A lot of good things happened, but this was something that I really wanted to be here and do, and I could think of no better place because so many people were together. And now to bring the Board of Peace into full force, I ask Sheikh Isa of Bahrain and Foreign Minister Barita of Morocco to join me in signing and ratifying the Board of Peace Charter. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
You just saw the ceremony, which is being called the unveiling of the Board of Peace Charter. Donald Trump there with the people who are considered the founding members, who will be part of the executive leadership of this Board of Peace. This is the announcing of the first charter of his so-called Board of Peace. This is a body which he claims is for resolving international conflicts, but there is also a price tag attached to it, especially to the permanent membership. Now, the board which Trump has launched is being billed as an attempt to probably overshadow UN, but Trump today clearly stated that they will be working in conjunction with the United Nations. Although he did say that United Nations failed in securing peace in the conflicts that he did.
The charter is now in full force, and the Board of Peace is now an official international organization. We will now continue the signing ceremonies, beginning with the President of Argentina and the Prime Minister of Armenia.
See on your screens, the signing ceremony proceeds with the members of the Board of Peace signing the document for joining the Board of Peace. The Board of Peace has been established by US President Donald Trump. He's the founding chairman and he will have permanent chairmanship. Remember, he will be the one who will be deciding what happens in this Board of Peace.
Next up, the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Prime Minister of the Republic of Bulgaria.
Donald Trump has claimed that there are about 59 countries that have been involved in peace processes in the Middle East, and he has also suggested that many have expressed their support of his Board of Peace. He has said that there are many who want to join Board of Peace. In fact, to quote him, he says that everybody wants to be on the Board of Peace. And joining us now is India Today Global's Pranay Upadhyay. Pranay, we see quite a few countries there signing that document that is possibly the first charter of Board of Peace, but not much details as to who would be joining, because there are many countries, significant countries like India, Russia, China, who have been extended the invitation, but they are still considering.
Absolutely, because we want, or many countries like India, China, Russia, and many other countries want better clarity that what exactly entails this Board of Peace proposed by President Donald Trump and presided by Donald Trump. Because currently this seems to be a kind of a club, though there is a UN resolution backing. But if its charter is limited to Gaza, definitely. Countries like India, who has the diplomatic influence, would want to contribute positively, constructively in the peace process. However, we have to see that, what exactly entails out of this, entire peace process, entire thing. And you will recall, Anjali, that Government of India sent representative when the Gaza peace plan was signed. It was agreed in Sharm el Sheikh of Egypt on 29th of September 2025, and after that the Government of India has always supported the idea of a sustainable peace in West Asia. But we have to see that what exactly is there and how the things progress in after this peace board, because we still have to get clarity. There were many reports that for the membership, countries have to come to contribute $1 billion, and that to be in cash. As per the U.S. media, there were reports published in New York Times and many other news publications that the membership of the Gaza Peace Board, or the Board of Peace, comes with a price, and it was also reflected during an address by Russian President Vladimir Putin, wherein he said that if there is a membership issue, then you can use the money which was seized by the Western nation and Western countries after the Ukraine war. So we have to get the clarity. But yes, you rightly pointed it out that on 16th of January 2025, President Donald Trump wrote a letter and extended an invitation to Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the Board of Peace. And many countries and many experts are also raising question about this entire structure and this entire body.
Right,
that,
Pranay, we have visuals coming in of Shahbaz Sharif now sitting right next to Donald Trump, and possibly the signing will begin soon. Do explain the fact that Pakistan, which is under such debt, is open to paying $1 billion just to sit next to Trump and be in the good books.
Anjali, not only they can pay such a hefty amount to be close to President Donald Trump and show that what kind of proximity they can enjoy to be on side of President Donald Trump, because we know that the Pakistani government is spending a huge sum for lobbying in Washington, D.C. But besides that, Pakistan was part of that entire process when in September 2025, when the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, President Donald Trump presided a meeting wherein all the OIC countries participated. Pakistan is also part of that OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries, and they have decided to be part of this Board of Peace. And you also know, Anjali, that there are many voices of dissent coming from Pakistan's political establishment as well. Many political parties have raised serious question about this, and not only the politicians of Pakistan, but some of the diplomats, those who have served in the Foreign Office of Pakistan, including the former UN representative of Pakistan, Maliha Lodi, who also served as Pakistan's US ambassador, has categorically said and expressed this on a social media wall that this is a very unfortunate decision, because Pakistan would end up sitting with Israel in this Board of Peace, a country which is not even recognized by Pakistan. So opportunism is not a new thing for Pakistan, but we have to see, because Pakistan has expressed its willingness to be part of the international stabilization force, which will report to this Board of Peace. There are many things which are yet to be, yet to come out with more clarity as far as the Board of Peace. How will it function? How will it the international stabilization force deployment will take place? And there are many other things, which we have to see. And I think that's the reason why many countries are still taking time. However, as you mentioned, that around 59 countries are present, and they have expressed their willingness to be part of this Board of Peace, including many countries, those who were present at the signing ceremony of Gaza Peace Plan in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt last year. And now many countries have also expressed their willingness to be part of this Board of Peace, which will be presided by President Donald Trump, his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Jared Kushner, who's son-in-law of Donald Trump. He will also be part of this Board of Peace.
Yeah, it looks like one big happy family. But one good thing that Trump said was that we will be working in conjunction with the United Nations. Although then he went on to say that United Nations has completely failed as far as maintaining peace is concerned. But, for people who've been wondering whether he will work with UN or against UN, probably that might be settled. But I don't know. What do you feel?
There are serious questions, and in fact, many experts are raising these questions on the intent of this Board of Peace, because this is not limited to the West Asia peace process. This is not limited to the Gaza redevelopment, which is this is rather more the widest spectrum impact. And in fact, if you see the invitation list, which is extended to countries like even Kosovo, Belarus, and many other countries, which clearly includes, and that's why many experts are raising these questions, that is an intention to create an alternative structure to United Nations, and what will be the accountability of this Board of Peace? Because currently this seems to be a personal initiative of President Donald Trump. and he only held that meeting, and in fact, it has only the backing of the United Nations Resolution 2803. But besides that, this is not happening in the aegis of the United Nations as a body. And we have seen that why these questions are being raised on United Nations, Anjali, because we have seen in the past, in last 4-5 years, that how United Nations as an institution has failed to deliver and failed to deliver on the peace processes, be it Russia-Ukraine war, be it the Israel-Gaza conflict, and be it even the COVID pandemic. We have seen how United Nations have turned out to be an ineffective organization, and that's why you would recall that countries like India, Germany, Japan, Brazil, there are many countries who have been asking for the immediate reform of the United Nations as an institution. We have been demanding that the Security Council need to be expanded. This should be reflective of the current reality of the world. But unfortunately, the United Nations has failed. And recently, last 3-4 days ago, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has also mentioned in a social media post that UN Security Council need to be reformed with immediacy. We need to reflect the global reality of the world. And that's why the UN, if UN has to be effective as an organization, it has to reform its processes. And these are the issues. These are the same issues which are now being echoed by the United Nations Security Secretary General. These are the same issues that have been raised by the Indian leadership. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also said in as many words that UN will fail if it fails to reflect the current reality of the world. If the most populous country on the planet, like India, if one of the fastest growing economy of the world, is not a part of the United Nations Security Council, then what do you expect these world bodies to deliver on the promises which they are making? And similarly and parallelly, when President Donald Trump, with a corpus of a huge money and with membership fee, if they are creating a structure.
Right. Do tell us one more thing. As we see that now Marco Rubio is also addressing the gathering, but there is a fear amongst people that this just might turn into a private club of Trump and his lackeys. At the end of the day, the chairman, which is going to be Trump for a very, very, very long time, has the power to veto anything he wants. And when we talk about creating a new organization that could rival UN, we have to think of a more democratic setup. And that's where probably other organizations being formed by, say, India or other countries might be a better option. This Board of Peace could be subject to one man's whims and fancies.
Obviously, these are the fears, and that's why more clarity is expected from the address, this meeting, the signing ceremony, because the fine print will have as they say, that devil is in the details. We have to see that what are the details of this Board of Peace, what are the accountability structure. UN, and all said and done, is an 80-year-old organization. Which actually, came out of the peace building process post Second World War, and many countries have contributed in last 80 years in the building process of the United Nations as an institution. This might be, not being able to deliver the promises, but still, as many experts say, that this is still the most effective organization we have right now. And if President Donald Trump want to create an alternative structure, the bigger question is that what are the accountability structure? Who's going to be responsible? Who's going to manage the money? Because if $1 billion per country is being asked as a membership fee, then what will be the accountability? Who will be overseeing this money? And after the end of President Donald Trump's presidency, what will happen to this Board of Peace? So there are many questions. Many countries might be looking at a very short-term solution or a very, very, very short-term, outcomes.
Right.
But we have to see this has to be a long
Absolutely.
process.
And all eyes will be on this Board of Peace as multiple countries, and especially significant and important countries, are still mulling what to do with the invitation they have been extended. And right now we have another big news coming in. It seems a former Pakistani skipper has called for T20 World Cup boycott. The former Pakistani skipper has had an anti-India meltdown. He has said that Pakistan must challenge cricket order. He has said that it is a threat to cricketers in India. Joining us right now is Nikhil Naz. But before we go to Nikhil Naz, let's listen to what exactly has been said.
इस मुल्क में यहाँ पे खतरा नहीं है. आईसीसी कैसे बोल सकती है? डॉग, आप ज्यादा बेहतर जानते हैं. इवन सबसे सिक्योर जगह पे कोई गारंटी किसी की नहीं ले सकता. ठीक है, खुदा ना खास्ता हम तो यही बोलते हैं कुछ ना हो. इस वर्ल्ड कप में किसी और टीम के साथ कुछ हो गया इंडिया में, फिर कहाँ के रहेंगे ये लोग? और ट्रम्प कार्ड इस वक्त है पाकिस्तान के पास ही है, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान ने 2-3 दिन पहले स्टेटमेंट जारी किए थे किसी के थ्रू, जराए के थ्रू, कि अगर बांग्लादेश तो पाकिस्तान भी नहीं खेलेगा. तो ये जो भी जराए थे या कोशिश थी, बात तो अब तो आ गई है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की आ गई है. मेरे ख्याल से इतने अच्छा मौका नहीं मिलेगा पूरी दुनिया की क्रिकेट को पलटने का. ये चीज इस वक्त पाकिस्तान नुकसान फायदा डॉग वो बात की बात है.
Joining us now is India Today's Nikhil Naz. Nikhil, Rashid Latif is talking about upturning the total cricket order. At least he accepts that the order has India somewhere up there. But what exactly is the intention of this former skipper?
Anjali, I mean, truth be told, I think this is a bit of posturing. Of course, it has a bit of a background to it. Rashid Latif is not the first one who suggested that. In the last few days, the reports that were emerging from Pakistan also seem to suggest similar things. So clearly there was a thought process within Pakistan, which is led by the Pakistan Cricket Board President Mohsin Naqvi, who, remember, is also the Interior Minister of the country. And he had floated this idea. But I don't think this is something that Pakistan can carry through. I think this was a bit of a posturing before the ICC voting that happened to take a decision on Bangladesh when they refused to come to India. Now that voting is done. It was voted in favor of not having Bangladesh if they refused to come to India. And they were completely outvoted 14-2. The only two countries that voted in favor of Bangladesh was one, of course, Bangladesh had their own vote, and Pakistan. But that's the best they can do. I heard Rashid Latif, who's a former captain, speak about, India and India trying to take the tournament away from Bangladesh, and it's best time to isolate, India at an international level. But I think what he's forgetting that voting that happened was at an ICC level that had not only the other permanent members, it also had a few associate countries represented, and all of them were in the favor of not having Bangladesh if they don't go through with the tournament and decide to, ask or demand for a third-party venue at the 11th hour. So I think what they need to realize that if Pakistan was to take this step of boycotting the World Cup, it's not a vote against India, but it's against the entire cricketing universe that you're deciding to not be part of that World Cup. Secondly, there will be a lot of financial implications. We already have a situation where Bangladesh is now having second thoughts. They've asked for 24 hours more to decide what it is that they must do. And at this juncture, I don't think Pakistan can afford to do the same. Yes, it can say that just to, tell the rest of the world that we are fighting India tooth and nail, but I don't think this is something that they can go through if it really comes down to a level whether they want to participate in the World Cup or not.
Right. Thank you, Nikhil, for that detailed analysis. And now we have news coming in from the Delhi High Court. The centre has submitted a report on the indigo crisis in the court today. The centre has informed the High Court about all the action that has been taken against indigo. In fact, the centre has informed the High Court that the senior vice president of indigo has been laid off, and penalties have also been imposed on the airline, and the COO has been warned. These are the actions that the centre has informed the High Court about. And joining us on the phone line is India Today's Nalini Sharma. Nalini, what all details has the centre submitted, and also what has Indigo said in this matter?
Anjali, there are two reports that have been filed before the Delhi High Court today. Number one is the incident report. What had happened when the crisis had broken out in Indigo, which had led to cancellations and delays in several flights across the country, which had left several passengers also stranded. But that report, interestingly, has been filed in a sealed cover, which means that the center, rather the DGCA, who has filed this report, does not want these details out in the public domain, what was behind the entire crisis that had ensued. The other report that has been filed by the DGCA is the action taken report. Basically, whatever happened after the crisis, what action has been taken against Indigo for the suffering of several passengers across the country. So in that regard, they've said the senior VP has been laid off, the CEO has been warned, and several penalties have also been imposed. This action taken report, a copy of this will be shared with the petitioner and other parties in this case, including the central government. But the other report will continue to remain in a sealed cover. Another thing that Indigo has been asked to do